Hello, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. I have this little flower bed, but unfortunately, because we have a lot of termites where we live, I've had to remove the actual flower bed support. So I'm going to be making a new one using aluminium cans and cement to make them look like wooden posts. I've taken about 2 meters of the wire and I've folded it in half. Now I'm taking the screwdriver and just holding it and making a wee circle at the top. So you've got a little connection like that. So do 2 pieces of wire just like that. Now you're going to take your can and we're going to wrap the wires around it. So working a bit hard to do it like this because I like to hold them between my knees. So hold your wire around the can, cross the wires over, try and get them in the center of the can, and then just cross them over so that they attach in each other. And then take the next wire and do the same on the bottom. And then attach the next can. And then just attach all the cans together like that. I'm doing a flower bed that is about 5 meters long, and it's very difficult to work all the cans in one piece. So I've worked them so that I've got 2 pieces. So on the one side I've got these tiny little circles like that, and on the other ones I've just finished the wires off. Now all you have to do is just trim the wires off. Once you've trimmed the wires off, now you can attach them. Just bend the wires backwards and then you can thread them through the little loops so that your cans are now attached, and then now your cans are all in one piece to lay in the mortar. I've dug a small trench just big enough for the cans, and now I'm going to lay a bed of mortar in there so that I can secure the cans into that. I'm going to be setting my cans in the mortar upside down so that when we put the mortar on, we've got a nice flat area here to work on. I've placed all my cans in a bed of mortar, and now I'm just going to wait for that to dry before I move on to the next step. I've got a soft drink bottle, and what I'm doing is I'm going to cut this small section out of the bottle. So once we cut the little piece of plastic out on either side of the ridge of the plastic bottle, you're just left with a small little piece like this. Now all you have to do is just cut some strips in it and then take off some of the corners so that you can get a nice pattern. So, can't really see that very well, but so you've got something that looks like that. Try and not go very high on it so that it's only about 1 centimeter deep, otherwise the plastic bottle is too weak to be able to use. And then just do 2 pieces like that. So this one I'm going to be using to pull some of the mortar off on the sides of my cans, and this one I've cut a lot finer with smaller ridges in it so that I can use this on the top of the can to make the rings on the can. cans. So before you use either of them, a good idea is to just take some paint and put it down and then scrape the little patterns through the paint so that you can see what the pattern is going to look like when you scrape it into your mortar. So that's the one that's going to be going there on this side of my cans, and this one is going to be the one that's going to be going on top of my cans. So I'm quite happy with what those look like, so I'm going to leave my little pieces as they are. If you're not happy with them, just modify them so that you can get the shape that you want. The mortar is all set on the cans, and now I'm going on to the next step. So what I've done is I've torn my newspaper into small sections that will fit into my 4-litre bucket of cement, which is a very liquid consistency. Now the reason why we put the newspaper on is because for the next step we're going to be applying mortar, and mortar doesn't adhere very well to the aluminium cans. So by putting the newspaper on, it gives me a base to work off. Now I tear the pieces of paper so that I've got a double sheet, because if you're only going to use a single sheet, it will tear when you pull it out. So make sure you're using a double sheet, and just enough to actually cover the cans, so the can, and then to wrap it around the back. I've also put black plastic bags down so that I can catch all the drips from the cement. And just continue until you've covered all your cans. I've covered all the cans, and now I'm just going to wait for all of those to dry before I apply the mortar. I've mixed my mortar up into a nice workable consistency, and now we're going to start placing it onto the cans. I'm just working in small sections. I'm taking one of the little pieces that we made, a little bit plastered, you can see that, and I'm going to do the top circle. And the sides, the same with the other little piece. I'm just putting a wee bit of detailing on so that they look like they're individual stumps of logs. So that's what the logs look like, and now just do the rest of them. What I've tried to do is I've tried to make all of them slightly different in shape so that it doesn't look like that they're just cans. So they've each got their own individual shape to them. And the little transfer, the little plastic pieces that we've made, they've made really nice patterns in them. I've completed my little wall and now I'm just going to wait for that to dry. My little fake log wall is now completed. It's been drying for 1 week, so you can paint it at this stage. Make sure your cement is completely dry before you paint it, and remember to put a primer down first so the paint doesn't peel off. However, I'm leaving it exactly as it is because it is the same colour as my deck. If you found this video helpful or you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Really appreciate it if you would subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.